just
I'm
feeding
just
them.
what?
You're just feeding them.
Training them, right?
You're
That's what you
training them.
said?
That's right.
No, you said training them.
Well,
Yes, you
training
said
them. Yeah.
training them. Okay, so what's the process of training? Please, what is the process of training? Elaborate.
I just
Please.
explained it. It's that simple. You know what I mean? When you go outside and you throw
Training?
seeds or you throw bread down on the ground and a bird comes
Use
and
it
it
in a
eats it.
different example then.
Okay. Oh god, that's the easiest way to
Like you, okay,
explain that.
training. Define training.
Well, training when you turn around. Okay, like a here's a good example. Like I've mentioned this before, like with sheep. Okay, do you know how to train a flock of sheep?
Can we herd them?
No, how
You mean
okay
herd them?
how do you train a flock of sheep to be herded? Then that would be the best way of saying it.
No,
You
I don't know. I'm unfamiliar. Tell me.
now in order
You
to
do the same
train.
thing over and over again, right? Repetition.
Yeah,
Is it
but
repetition?
the key
They.
to it is okay with sheep. There's always the lead sheep. There's one sheep out of every herd that every single one of those sheep will follow. Okay, no matter what, they'll always do what that one does. So instead of you trying to train an entire flock of sheep, all you gotta do is pick out which one is the lead sheep, train that one, and the rest of them will follow.
But I thought you said there's no control.
No, that's
I'm just asking. I'm just
you're
asking.
training
Please
them. Okay,
understand it's just a conversation and I'm smiling. I'm so happy. Like,
you're training
but
them.
no, but
You're training
training is
them.
controlling them. You're controlling them.
No, it's not.
Why are
The
they living
reason why
freely
they're
or are they under
following
your
you,
control?
the reason why they're following you is because they're benefiting from it in some way or another. Those birds are doing it because you're giving them food. You're going out there with a piece of bread and you're throwing it down on the ground. That's all you're doing. You're not
Isn't
making
that bait?
them
Aren't you paid out? Isn't that controlling?
you're not making them come back to that spot. If they didn't want your food, they wouldn't come. You see what I mean?
Okay, so they're benefiting from it.
They're
Something you're
benefiting.
doing is giving them that. Right. Okay.
They're
Hold on though.
benefiting from it.
Hold on. Couldn't you just stop putting the food out there? You said there's no control. Just let me just stop putting the food out there.
Yeah, and they'll stop coming.
For how long though? Because they're gonna always come back and check. Hey, I remember
All
this
you
one
just
time I
do,
went over there and feeding. Oh
all you
yeah,
do,
let's go see.
go whenever you get a chance. Go out and feed some birds for about maybe a month, and then just stop feeding them and see if they come back to check.
I think that's a great experiment. I'm just going to tell you, like honestly, just if you let yourself experience as much as like we let ourselves indulge with what we're told and what the norm quote unquote is as much as we engage with that stuff, like the social media and keeping up with the Joneses, as much as we do that, if we even just considered not
Yeah,
seriously, if it was just, you know what I mean, for just a few minutes and see how powerful you are. Like you were saying, I can't make that tree grow. But there are some cultures, Native American cultures, where they are so in tune with the universe that if they speak for a tree to grow in an exceptional amount of time, they're able to have that. But that's because they're cut off from our nonsense. Like the Amish, they're cut off. But I don't want to talk too much on the Amish because they got a lot of other stuff going on. But you know what I mean? It's just,
don't worry,
but but but, but the
they ain't
reason
gonna
is
hear it.
because
They aren't gonna hear it. They don't believe in technology, so you can say whatever you want.
yeah, as I say, they're not going to hear this show. But a friend of a friend of a friend. I used to go to Amish country all the time to go shop. Mommy used to take me. We'd go to Vanity Fair up in Reading and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And so we'd go to Lancaster and we'd go to Reading. And then there's a smorgasbord. And I'd have my smorgasbord. They had some of the best fried chicken. Oh my gosh. The best. I cannot believe, I cannot still to this day believe I say that. Best fried chicken, best peach cobbler. And they was getting their money. But yeah, we go to Amish country. And yeah, so like I said, a friend of a friend, you never know. And but seriously though, it's like it's scary to think that you could literally move stuff with your mind. It's scary maybe to not to me, but to people to think that they could get shot at internet and live, come back to life. It doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, after the hospital, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'll put that there for you to believe that that's the only way for something like that to happen. But it's not. I lived it. I lived it. I lived it. I lived it. I cut somebody off in traffic. He shot me in my head while I was driving. My now ex-husband was there and watched me come back to life. It's kind of like if you ever watched that movie Weekend at Bernie's, and
Yeah.
he kind of like shakes every time the music comes on. He comes back. Like that's literally what happened. And like I cut him off in traffic because me and my ex were arguing, and I did like I said I was in the hood and just call it.
You there? Oh, she'll get back on here. And it's like I said, this is going to be an episode dedicated to talking to Karma and kind of getting into some of the stuff that she's discussing. When she gets back, I'm going to have her speak a little bit more about the pineal gland because I think I kind of stirred her in the left field a little bit. So let me make sure she's okay on that. Let me make sure my stream's okay too, so that I know. Yeah, everything's still running fine. She should be back on here. Just give her a second. She's probably still talking. Don't even realize she got cut off. Hold on a minute. And and yeah, I believe something has definitely occurred here. Let me see real quick. I will exit full screen. I will go in the chat and see what's going on. Karma lost her internet connection, most likely. Ask her if she's alright. Now, the one thing that really sticks to me is like the premonitions and stuff, throughout history and even today. You gotta realize that, people often, notice details about certain situations sometimes, and they don't even realize that they notice it. This is one thing that does occur, and because we don't really notice the details, sometimes it's conscious and sometimes it's subconscious. So that's one aspect of it. You back?
Wait, I don't know. I didn't know I was gone. So,
Yeah, I know. I figured you were still
oof.
talking. We're gonna have to get you back on
Yeah, I was
topic.
studies working.
We're gonna have to get you back on topic because you got excited and just kept on talking and talking and talking. And didn't even realize you left the thing, did you?
No, I heard the thing go doop, and I was just like, Oh, because the thing went when I guess you text in the chat and I heard it. I was like, yeah, because I could do this for like hours, days, years, for infinity, and it's just, I mean, it's fun
I
to me. It feels good.
yeah, it really is, and that's what I was saying. Get some time to where you can come in and kind of speak about some of the stuff you were talking about. You know, now, um, the thing too is like I was like having premonitions and stuff. That's what I was just kind of like going through. Like there's a lot of things that people have uh, experienced. Don't get me wrong, but you also gotta take into consideration that like, and it's happened all throughout history where people have had premonitions, but at the same time, there's also these people who like notice certain details about certain situations. They don't even realize that they notice it. It's just like they don't notice it consciously. You know what I mean? And there is situations where that does happen, and you notice this stuff unconsciously, and the information is then relayed from your subconscious mind into your conscious mind. So this could be through your feelings and emotions too. So there's a lot of things that are going on there.
Receptors.
Yeah, and like
We're machines.
we were talking about like pineal glands and how I was talking to you about the DMT stuff. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people think that they're actually having a conscious contact with a higher being, but the truth of the matter is there's chemicals that are being created in your brain, and you're actually creating stimuli that's making you think you're having this conscious contact with it. You know what I mean? Like, and it goes back to what I was saying about
What
internalizing.
about sober people?
Well, see,
What about people that are sober?
that's what I'm saying though. Okay, like there's externalizing and internalizing. Okay, and when I turn around and I take a foreign substance into my body, which stimulates my chemicals reactions, then that is a physical thing. You know what I mean? Whereas like most people who are sober, okay, and a lot of people get the word sobriety mixed up, being sober mixed up. Sober isn't staying away from drugs and alcohol, it's sober thinking, okay? Um, there's people who are in the Catholic Church that beat themselves with whips, and there's people that starve themselves to death because they think that it's going to make them have this epiphany and they're going to come closer to God and have a consciousness with them. You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, all they have to do is live a sober thinking life. You know what I mean? It's good to have your head up in the
My
clouds.
son,
It's good to have your head
my
up in the
son was a
clouds, but
newborn talking to me
you know, but let
through
me.
through 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 his mind though. Like, and he was a newborn. He never had any drugs. He never had any alcohol.
No,
And
you were
looked me
talking
in my
about
eyes and told me,
sober thinking though.
"N-
Let me just say this one thing, and I'll
yeah,
say
yeah,
this.
yeah."
It,
Okay, go ahead. I
being
apologize.
sober is having your head in the clouds, but having your feet firmly on the ground at the same time. And
Hmm.
that's all it is. It's okay to be up there in the clouds, but you need to have your feet firmly on the ground, and that's the way they think, and that's it. There's nothing more complicated about it than that. It's just
So I
sober.
had a son that was kidnapped, and before he got kidnapped, he told me he was going to get kidnapped. He couldn't talk. He had no words. He was only 40 days when he got kidnapped. And prior to him being kidnapped from me, he looked me in my face while I was preparing his meal, and he said, "Mommy, we cannot go back to that house. He's going to hurt me if we go back there." And he's talking about his father, who did end up suffocating my child. So it's one of those things. And he never had any drugs. He never had any alcohol. I was completely sober during my pregnancy with him. There was nothing in his genetics to make him have this ability. It was his natural born gift. He was given this ability to communicate with me through his mind. He's the reason why I understand in this ability.